right, so let's talk about analytical chemistry. So first thing I want you to do is taking out a piece of paper, or even just think about in your mind, what is analytical chemistry for you? Okay, so I assume you think about yourself, you think about this question already. So I think in your piece of paper, you probably will have all these answers. You think about analytical is pipette, titration, right? You're thinking about precision, accuracy, and this is all right for about analytical chemistry, but what is the official determination for analytical chemistry? So the International Union of Pure Applied Chemistry definition for analytical chemistry is a scientific discipline that develops and applies methods, instruments, and strategies to obtain information on the composition and nature of matter in space and time, as well as on the value of these measurements. For example, like uncertainty, validation, or the traceability to fundamental standards. So from this concept, you can see analytical chemistry is really like a tool for penetrating a lot different areas, right? Because you're trying to obtain information on composition and nature of matter. So basically, it's everything. It exists everywhere. And here are some examples show analytical chemistry in different, like biochemistry, or even the, you can see this is very physics, Mars rover. This is Mars rover, and this is optical spectroscopy. It all exists there, and this is a biology, okay? So it is true because analytical chemistry is a tool to finding out the information, okay? So there are many different, analytical chemistry branch for now, like forensic chemistry, bioanalytical chemistry, environmental, pharmaceutical analysis. It's all related with analytical chemistry. So what is really analytical chemistry trying to address? Okay, we categorize analytical chemistry into two different components. One is called qualitative analysis. What is qualitative analysis? It is the identification of a compound. Okay, so what that means is this quantitative analysis basically is trying to address the question is, what is it? It's like what element is it in the chemistry? You probably will concern is what elements it is, what ion it is, what compound is it. But when you think about life, during our daily life, it's the same thing. Like, is it apple or pear? Use analytical chemistry, you can find out, is this a apple or pear? Do I have caffeine or cell bromine? This is a similar question with what quantitative analysis trying to do in chemistry, but you are asking this question in daily life. So basically you are addressing this quantitative is addressing what is it, to identify what's that. Another part is called quantitative analysis. This is trying to determine the amount of certain component. So if you know what element ion it is, quantitative is trying to address how much is there, right? What's the concentration? What is the mass? This is for chemistry. So daily life, you probably will address this. How many apples there? How much caffeine I had? How much? How many? That is the question quantitative analysis trying to address. Okay. Now, think about this question. We just talk about the definition of qualitative and quantitative. Pick up the answer, pause this video and pick up the answer for this question. So the statement is that qualitative analytical chemistry identifies individual components. Is it true or false? Okay, I suppose you choose your answer. So the answer is true, right? Quantitative is addressing the question is, what is it? So we work to identify the substances present in a given sample. We don't concern about quantity. How much, how many, we don't concern in the qualitative analysis. We concern this in quantitative analysis. Okay. Now, for general analytical chemistry, how we are working on addressing a question. There are different steps. The first one is, of course, you need to formulate a question. What question you want to ask, you want to answer, right? And it's the specific, why I say it's formulate a question is because you need to transfer this question into a specific question to be answered by chemical analysis, right? You need to ask, do you want to identify something or do you want to quantify or quantity something, right? Once you have this formulated question, then you should select the analytical procedure. If you want to know is apple or pear, or you want a coffee, you want to determine is coffee or just water. So you have different questions. You need to choose a different analytical procedure. So in order to answer those questions, you should search the literature to find the appropriate procedure or devise new procedure to make required. After that, then you probably have the tool. Next thing what you need to do is sampling. What that means is you need to get selecting a representative material to analyze. Well, the name of this class is analytical chemistry, so you know you need to analyze stuff. So what stuff you should analyze? You should relate it with your question, and you should represent the sample you need to analyze, right? So, so here I give two example of a patch of lawn, right? The left side is very relative homogeneous lawn, and the right side is have patches through the lawn. So when you are trying to figure out if measure some magnesium in grass, right? So for left side, you should be fine. Just pick whatever because it's pretty homogeneous. But on the right, it's patches. So if you picking up the area a lot patches and the area that doesn't have a lot of patches, then the magnesium content will significantly different. So this sample is not a representative, correct? So this is not a representative sample anymore. So you need to find out a representative. You need to have a homogeneous and representative sample. Okay. After you get the sampling, you need to prepare the sample for analysis, because when you have the sample, it's not necessarily very pure. You have a lot different other stuff. How you can remove or kind of minimize other interferences. This is what you need to do for prepare the sample. After that, you can do the analysis. Either you want to measure the concentration or analyze in identical liquids, or you run other instrument to figure out what the element inside, right? So you do the analysis. And really important is that analysis need to have replicates. The reason for that is you don't want to have one-time measurement and say, I'm sure, 100% sure this is correct. No, analytical chemistry is very accurate. We need you do replicates to find out the average of that and tell people what's the standard deviation for the measurement. Okay, we never tell people we are 100% sure. We will tell them 90 or 85% sure based on the confident interval later we will teach. Okay. After you get an analysis, then you need to have a reporting and interpretation. Once you get the data, you need to understand what that means and write a report that is appropriate, readable to appropriate audience. Okay, and the end, then you will draw the conclusion about the finding. So that is about analytical chemistry. Okay, so that's basically the introduction for analytical chemistry, and I will see you on Tuesday.